Hello everyone, good evening.
好，今天呢，我们又
Today,
开始我们的祈福共修。
let us practice chanting together.
我觉得这个内容是网友最喜欢的。
I think everybody likes to
凡是网
chant.
友最喜欢的这个内容呢，也是最吉祥的。
What you like the most is probably the most auspicious.
就是
I started self-cultivation since my childhood,
这个修行的这些经验，
and I was taught by many
他
masters,
从得病的身体
and I have observed many
虚
practitioners
弱的身体
who transformed
变得
from
壮实和坚强，
from an ill person to a person with
这
health,
个懦弱胆小的人
from a timid and weak person
男子汉，
to someone who is courageous and strong,
还有甚至是比较愚笨的人，
and even people who were silly
聪明智慧
becoming smarter and clever.
变化都太大了。
There are many big
所以我在
changes.
这个我们平常就是和社会大众在聊的时候，
So
大家一
yearly,
般都觉得不可
when
能
we talk
不
to
相信。
ordinary
你说
people,
你这
people
个
who don't
这
cultivate,
个宗教的
many
行为
people don't believe it. People
怎么会
sees
产
it
生
as a religious
健
act.
身的作用，
Why would a
怎么会
religious
产生
behavior
这个
bring health?
心灵提升的作用？
Why would it
对，
improve
这是
a person's
我们
state of
习惯性
mind?
地将它划归了叫宗教的解析，
I think people are just used to
就是在
drawing the line.
这个古代
But in
有
the
这样
ancient
的伟人
times,
圣
there
人
are many sages
发现了这个方法
who discovered
之后呢，
the cultivation
传给
method
这个有缘人，
and passed it
慢慢
down
就传承下来，
through the generations to
让这个
modern
有缘的
days.
你呢，就得到
So
了
people who have the fate
贵的妙法。
can receive such a
所以
treasure.
那个缘分不到的人，
People who don't have the fate,
说破天人家也
it doesn't matter what you say,
缘分到
they
了，
wouldn't believe it.
福气到了，
When they have fate, when they have fortune, when it's auspicious time for them,
这
when
个时候
they have
你
luck,
就来，一
when I
听你就
wave
感
my
应
hand, you would come, and when you
就是
listen,
这样。
you will be enlightened.
在跟我修的这些大众是更有福。
Many people who
我
practice
是
with
首
me
先
are very
像
fortunate
这个药师佛那样先
because
面
first,
对针对和究竟的事，
I am
我们
like the
怎样
medicine
活得更
Buddha.
怎样摆脱贫困，
If I want to face the question of how can we live a better life,
疾病、
how can we live a richer life,
烦恼、
how can we avoid illnesses and
病态
misfortune,
等等的这些负面的
how do we
让我们的
avoid
人
these
生变得更
negative
加这个辉煌，
issues, to have a better life, to be more confident, to have more knowledge and wisdom,
有能力、
to have more
有信
abilities,
心，让我们的人生变得更
so
丰
that
盛
our
富贵
life is more, so our life is strong and perfect. And that's why I like the medicine Buddha
那
Dharma.
事实上来说呢，在我们的若干种修行法
In
门
reality, there are
都会
many
带给大家
different
很多的益处。
meditation methods, and all of these methods are beneficial.
在我过去应该说差不多20年前了，
About 20 years ago, let me give you an
那个时候呢
example.
我就认识的一位年长的朋友，他虽然和我接触，
20 years ago, I got to know someone who was a little bit older than me.
他也不太信任我，
When we just met each
他
other,
觉得
he
我这个
didn't
身份也
trust
挺
me.
神秘，
He saw
我
that
先聊聊天，
he saw
安排
that
一下
I
可以
was
这
mystical.
么一个关系，刚认识不久。
He was okay to
可是有一
talk
天
with me.
他给我看到他这个眼睛
One
下
day,
眼皮啊，
he showed me that
整个
beneath
很
his
高
eyes,
红肿，
there it is
因为很多天没见他了。
it is very
很多
red
红肿那么一大块。
and it's swelling.
他说：“你看这个有没有什么办法？
He showed me
我们
his
修佛法有没有办法？”
he showed me the swelling and asked me if there's anything I can do because I
我在忙
study
另外一件
Buddhism.
事
At the time, I was busy with something else, and
我就给你教一句，
I told him that let me teach you a
你
chant.
呢就念，
So I taught him the chant of Guanyin Bodhisattva. and I asked him to chant every day for 30 minutes.
念个10天半月。
And I said that if you can chant for 10 days or half a month,
我一看医生，
it will be very helpful.
这个医生的建议说，有医
He
生
said
说
that
在我这儿
when
开刀做手术。
When he went to see the doctor suggested to do a surgery. And because it's very close to the eye, he was very scared, and he didn't want to leave a scar behind.
凡是要做手术的话，大家都是有忌讳。
I think many people want to try to avoid surgeries.
问问我医生，
And that's why he didn't want to go and came to ask me if I have any methods.
每天念一会儿。
And so I taught him the chant to Guanyin.
那5
And
天以后
afterward, he left.
来见我，
5 to 6 days later, he came back to see me again.
就是基
And
本上
the swelling was all gone.
他就非
He
常
was
喜悦地跟我
almost all healed. He was very happy, and he shared with me that after 3 to 4 days of chanting,
诵念。
he chanted every day before going to
在
bed.
小屋子里把房门一关，告诉老公孩子都不
He
要打
just
扰我哈。
closed the
我已
doors
经
and
已经
started to chant by himself in a room.
大家当然很配合，每天念一会儿。
So she chanted for 30 minutes every day.
可能3、4天以后，
After 3 to 4 days,
早上10点呢
in the morning when he was washing his face,
就肿
he
胀
saw
那一块哈
changes in the mirror.
照镜子的时候说，这个肿胀的眼皮下头呢，好像这个东西有个
He realized that
在一个肿包上凸出来一
on the
黑尖
swelling
黑
there
尖上
is
露着一点
a
白的
dark,
那个东西，
there is something dark
他自然的
and
就觉得哎，这怎么有
there's
点
a
白的了？
dark
手
thing
这么一按，
and
就往外走，
there is white
他觉得哎，像个肿胀的大
white
米粒，
pus that feels like a grain of rice.
哎，
But when he pressed on it, it doesn't hurt.
轻轻的挤压它就
And
出来
so
了
slowly
像一个
he pressed on the
就是
swelling
大米的
and
爆米花，啊
and
粗
pushed
壮的
out
大米的那种
a
就是爆米花的那个大米的米花
some
那么大，
something white like a grain of rice.
而且也不痛，哎
And
就
it didn't
出来了
hurt.
之后就用什么卫生纸在那蘸一蘸，
Then
还
he
有一
just
点点
used some
就是有
tissue
点小一点点的血迹
and
蘸一蘸没有
cleaned
了，
the pus
也不痛不
away.
痒。
And it didn't hurt.
那他就去看一下医生。
Then
医
he
生说
went
这
back
就
to see
你这
the
个东西
doctors.
出来了，就应该没问题了，你不用
The
担心
doctor said that it should be okay now. You don't need to worry about it anymore. You're so
你用
lucky.
什么方法？
How did you do
念
it?
佛
And he said he chanted.
这个我也不懂你的佛法。反
The
正
doctor said that he didn't understand it, but
免去了，
it means that you are very lucky. At least you don't need surgery anymore.
他这个
And
这挤出来一个小东西，
it proved
眼睛
it
上一个疤都没有留下。
that after
大概
the
当个月以后
white
什么痕迹都
thing
没有
was squeezed out, there was no scars, nothing
所以
was
这个
left
念佛
over.
修行啊，
So chanting and self-cultivation has many benefits, and there are even more miraculous stories.
你们我知道也准备了一些我们
Zhejian and
一些
Wuli,
菩提同
do
修
you
的
have
一
any
些故事
stories
还有社
from
会
Bodhi
人士的故事
practitioners
给大家分享一下
or from other people
嗯
that you can share with us?
师父就是在禅堂里面哈，
Master, in
很
our
多师父
center,
特别爱念观世音
there are
菩萨的
many
名
people who
号
likes
他
to
们就是
chant
真
to
的是有
Guanyin.
什么事儿都要求观世音菩萨。
If they run
我记
into
得那
any
个时候
issues,
还在
they
温哥华
want to
禅
ask
堂
for Guanyin
一起共
Bodhisattva's
修
help.
啊，我们
I
有位
remember
女师姐，她就在那个
there
共修
is
的时候
a
跟我们分享
Miss
观世音
Lee
菩萨怎么
from
帮
the
助她家
Vancouver
人
Center.
哈她说
She
她有一
shared
次回
with
国
us.
遇到了她的表妹，
嗯
然后那个
One
表妹
day,
呢，就是
once she went
结
back
婚
to
了也有
China
大
and
概
met
4-5
her
年了。
younger
她作为
cousin.
姐姐嘛，
And
就很关心说，哎呀，
Her
要个
cousin
孩
was
子了啊，
married
是你
for
的
4
女婿。
years.
然后表妹其实就
And
是那个时候
she
还是
she
面带
chatted
愁
with
容
a
跟她
cousin
说，她说姐
and
姐，我
asked
其
if
实
they
跟
if
老
she
公很
has
想
a
要个孩
child
子，
after
但是
4
我
years
们
of
也已经
marriage.
经过了4-5年，
Miss
我们
Lee's
怎么都
cousin
不
was
成功
very
啊，那我们也要去
anxious,
医院去
and
检
she
查了。
told
医生
Miss
就是说
Lee
看上去
that
就是体检的报告
she
还是
has
可
she
以
tried
的，
to
那可能
get
只是你
pregnant,
们
but
是不是
she
工
couldn't
作
for
压力
4
太大
years.
呀，还
And
是
even when
饮
she
食
go
习
to the
惯啊，或
doctors
者
to
是生活
check,
习惯不要熬夜
the
啊，这
doctor
些
says
给我
that
们给我们这
you
方面
guys
的
are
一些指导
okay,
哈。他说我
but
们
maybe
西
it's
医也
because
看了，
of
中
the
医也
stress
考
from
虑了
work
都
that
去
you
了，但
aren't
是好像
able
就
to
是
get
没有
pregnant.
什么效果。
And
然
Miss
后
Lee's
呢，我的那
cousin
个
went for Western medicine treatments and traditional Chinese medicine treatments too, but nothing worked. So Miss Li suggested to her cousin that maybe you can worship a tanka of Guanyin Bodhisattva or a statue of Guanyin Bodhisattva, and every day, if you can do 18 prostrations to the Guanyin Bodhisattva, and that should be enough. But you have to be very sincere and very respectful. Give it a try. Maybe the Guanyin Bodhisattva will bring a baby to you. And Miss Li's cousin believed it. And she worshipped Guanyin in her home. And every morning, she would sincerely pay her respect to the Guanyin Bodhisattva and do 18 prostrations. And after just a few months, Miss Li's cousin called Miss Li and told her that was fun, that was amazing. I'm pregnant now. And she gave birth to a very healthy baby. And both of them was very happy. That is fantastic. That's protection from the Guanyin Bodhisattva. Master, I want to share a story from the ancient times. It's a person who's from the late Qing dynasty, and his name is called Chongde, and he is a jeweler merchant. And so he went out to purchase jeweler, and at night he couldn't make it back home, so he went into a hotel. But the hotel owner wanted to rob and kill the jeweler merchant. Chongde worships the Guanyin Bodhisattva, and he chants the Guanyin Bodhisattva's great compassion mantra daily. So at night, the hotel owner waited until after midnight, and he went upstairs and tried to go to Chongde's hotel room door. And when he was about to open the door, he heard that there's someone knocking on the hotel's front door. And when he opened the front door, there is someone who had a strong build and said that, I'm here to see Chongde. The hotel owner says that Chongde is already sleeping. Maybe you can come back tomorrow morning and you can leave a name. Yeah, okay, then tell Chongde my name is Dou Shu Peng. The hotel room owner ushered the visitor off. And the hotel owner was anxious too, so he settled down. And he saw that, no, I still want to do it. I want to kill the jeweler. So he went upstairs again to Chongde's door. And just when he was about to open the door, someone else came to knock on the hotel's front door. So the hotel owner went back down again and opened the front door. Who is it? What do you want? The guest said that I am Chongde's friend. I want to see Chongde. The hotel owner says that yes, he is here, but he's already sleeping. Come back tomorrow morning. Leave me your name. And I tell him. So this person said that my name is Yun. So the hotel owner sent Yun off. And the hotel owner settled down and went back to kill Chongde. But at this time, it was almost the dawn. And Chongde wake up every morning early to cultivate. And so Chongde already opened the door and walked walked out of his room, and he greeted the hotel owner. And the hotel owner hid his knife behind his back and told Chongde that last night there were 2 people who came to see you. They are called Dou Shupeng and A Shiyun. And Chongde says, "Really? I'm so happy. Did you know that these 2 people, these are 2 divinities from the great compassion mantra that I chant every day. They are bodhisattvas." And then at this time, the hotel owner realized that that's why they have such weird names. And he started to sweat. He was scared. And he dropped his knife. And the hotel owner dropped to the ground and begged to Chongde, "Chongde, I'm sorry. Last night I tried to kill you and steal all your jewelers. I didn't realize that you are such a virtuous man, that bodhisattvas even came to protect you. And I'm so grateful that the bodhisattva stopped me from making a mistake." And Chongde leaded him to pay respect to the bodhisattvas and to worship them and to chant mantras. And so this hotel owner backed out from being a robber and a murderer. So Guanyin Bodhisattva listens to everyone and helps them. When I heard the story, I remember stories that I heard when I was young. I think one of my neighbors when I was young, her name is Jiao and her husband is Mr. Chen. One night, Mr. Chen is walking on the road and met an old man with white beard. And the white man said that, "Mr. Chen, come with me." And so Mr. Chen went with him in his dream. And so the old man pointed to a wooden casket and said that, "You are going to lie in there." And Mr. Chen was very scared that in his dream that there is a casket, and it indicates a very bad ending. And so Mr. Chen wondered that if it means that he will die very soon. So he was very sad. And in his dream, he started to chant. He chanted to Guanyin Bodhisattva, "Namo Guanyin菩萨, Namo Guanyin菩萨." He chanted. And after hundreds of chants, the old man disappeared. And a young girl appeared in his dream. And the young girl said that, "Go back home." And suddenly, Mr. Chen woke up from his dream. And after he woke up from his dream, he told his dream to his wife, Jiao. And Jiao said that it must be a bodhisattva showing you what might happen, that there might be unfortunate things happening. Be careful. You be careful, and we will chant for you, and we will do good deeds. So Jiao is a Buddhist, and she chants regularly. And so Jiao started to chant and worship and make offerings to the Buddha at home. So also Mr. Chen had a bad dream at night, and he was very unhappy, but he still needs to go to work. He is a construction manager, and when he went to the construction site, he was very anxious throughout the day, and he was very unhappy. So the building that they are constructing has 3 stories, and he was supposed to climb onto the 3rd level. But a worker came by and said that don't go on there, I will go. And Mr. Chen didn't want to work anyway, didn't want to go on there anyways. So he pulled out a cigarette and wanted to have a smoke. And before he was able to light the cigarette, there was a loud bang, and the entire construction framework the construction framework collapsed, and the worker who climbed it in the place of him fell from 3 stories high onto the ground, and the worker, although he was sent to the hospital, but he was very lucky that although he was in the accident, but he didn't have very severe injuries. And so Mr. Chen told what happened during the day to his wife, and both of them was very grateful to the Bodhisattvas that they were warned in Mr. Chen's dream and given time and chance to chant and to avoid this misfortune. Master, I want to share another story. There is a mother. She is very respectful to Guanyin Bodhisattva, and whenever she has time, she would chant Guanyin Bodhisattva's name when she drives to work. As long as she has a moment of time, she would chant in her heart. And she told the story. Her youngest daughter was 17 years old, and when she was riding a bike from school, she was riding on the bike lane, and to her left, there are several tourist buses, and also everyone was proceeding normally, but there was a truck that was driving toward them from the other direction, and the tourist bus wanted to avoid the truck, so the tourist bus turned right and ran into the young girl that was riding on the bike. And after the tourist bus came to a stop, the girl was dragged under the bus for several meters, and the bike has already fallen apart, and the girl is in a coma. And in the hospital, the doctors was very interested in the case, that even though the girl was dragged on the ground for several meters, but she was all okay. She didn't have any concussions. Her internal organs was all okay, and her tendons, her bones are all okay. And when she woke up from the coma, she said that she don't know how she lost consciousness. And when she woke up, her first thought is to be grateful to Guanyin Bodhisattva. And so the mother, when she told us this story, she was out that she is the only one that is cultivating in her home, and she didn't realize that this fortune will show up on her daughters. And so since then, her entire family starts to cultivate. Master, I want to share you a story from our Malaysia center. This person's name is Lin Xin, and she got married with her husband in 2013. And after she got married, they wanted a baby, but for many years they were infertile, and they went to see many doctors and had many treatments, and nothing worked. So they went to a fortune teller to ask to see if they can have a child. But the fortune teller told them that no, they don't have a child in their life. And so they were devastated. And they don't have any hope anymore. They were in pain. And so in the end, they don't have any hope anymore, but they always feel that there is something missing in their life. And so Miss Lin's mother-in-law cultivates with us in the PJ Center. And at first, the mother-in-law practiced energy bagua. And after she has benefited, she told her daughter-in-law that don't be pressured. Come to the center with me. At least you guys can have health, have a good body. And the first day that Miss Lin went to our center, Grandmaster JinBodhi was holding a live session in Singapore, and there was a student in the crowd who was sharing that she didn't have a baby, and she chanted and prayed for a child, and she did. And so when Miss Lin heard this sharing, she found hope again. There is hope now. She has confidence. Let me give it a try. And so she asked her mother-in-law, what should I do? And her mother-in-law told her that, let's light a candle. So they light a candle in our PJ Center in front of the Guanyin Bodhisattva. And she listened to the instructor to chant sincerely, to chant to Guanyin Bodhisattva. And Miss Lin says that I love chanting. Whenever I have time, even on my way to work or coming back from work, I would chant. And when I chant, I am very happy. And it's unbelievable, in a very short time, in just 2 months, I got pregnant. I'm so happy. I think Bodhisattva really loves me. I have tried for 4 years and nothing happened. But in 2 months, I got pregnant after chanting. And so she continued to chant. So she continued to chant throughout her pregnancy, and she didn't have very severe morning sicknesses, and everything was very smooth. And she gave birth to a baby girl smoothly as well. And you can see her story on our website. So she and her husband is very grateful to Guanyin Bodhisattva. She feels that this baby is blessed by the Bodhisattva. This is a very auspicious story. Jujin, you have more? I remember another story. It's actually from our Vancouver center. There are similar stories. I don't remember their names anymore. I think they got married and they were in their middle ages. The husband is almost 40 years old, is over 40 years old, and the wife is about 40 years old. And they immigrated to Canada and was introduced to Bodhi meditation. And they started to practice energy bagua and other cultivation methods. And they had 2 specific wishes. First, they wanted to buy a house. And second is after they buy a house, they wish to have a healthy baby because they are not young anymore. And the doctors had told them that it will be difficult for them to conceive a healthy baby. And after they came to Bodhi meditation, they like many methods. And the husband really liked prostration. And every night before he goes to bed, he would do 108 prostrations every night. And even if he had to work overtime, sometimes when he comes home, it's already midnight, he would still do 108 prostrations before going to sleep. They used to live in a city a little bit far away from our center, and it took them 40 minutes to drive over. And afterward, in a year, they found a house that was very suitable for them, close to the center. And so their first wish has been fulfilled. And now that they are closer to the center, the husband and wife, they both come to the center to do volunteers. And also they both have to work, but they would come on the weekends. So the husband does a lot of electrical work, and so he helped with maintenance at the center and also cleaning too. And he was very sincere. And so both of them cultivated, practiced, and did volunteering. They are already in their 40s, and their doctor has already told them that there is a very slim chance for them to conceive. And after another year, their vow has been granted. They were pregnant, and it was a baby boy. And they were very lucky. When Master came back to Vancouver, they brought their son over to the Master for you to be blessed, and asked Master to name the baby. And Master named him Yue Sheng. And so the husband and wife, they sincerely practice, meditate, and chant and do prostration. So when they wanted a house, they got a house. When they wanted a child, they got a child. It is very auspicious for them. Master, it doesn't matter who you ask. If you ask anyone, usually they will say that they want their husband to be safe and their work to be steady, or that for their children to be safe when they work. And so for a mother, the safety of their children is their biggest wish. I want to share a story from Malaysia with Master. So, Dan Xiang's son is 25 years old, and he doesn't live with his parents anymore. And he likes to ride very big motorcycles. We don't see motorcycles nowadays very frequently now. Whenever there is an accident, the accident might be very severe. So Dan Huo has talked to her son many times, trying to persuade him not to ride motorbikes. And she worried about his safety every day. And so when she volunteered at our center, she always prayed for her son's safety. And the son likes to ride the motorcycle and go on road trips. And whenever he went on to a road trip, he would call his mother and to tell her that he is safe. And once he ride the bike from Singapore, starting from Singapore all the way to Thailand, Chiang Mai. And so when the son told his mother that, "Mom, I am leaving for this road trip," Dan Huo light a candle for her son. And on the second day, her son didn't call her back to report his safety. And more interestingly, after 2 p.m., Dan Huo starts to feel very anxious. And she couldn't sit, she couldn't stand. She was just very agitated. And so she started chanting. And she asked for Guanyin Bodhisattva's help. She doesn't know why, but she just chanted to Guanyin Bodhisattva and prayed that the Guanyin Bodhisattva would protect her son. And afterward, she found out that when she felt agitated, that was the time when her son had an accident on the highway. And it was raining, pouring on the highway. And her son was riding 150 kilometers per hour on the motorcycle in the rain. And this is how fast he was riding the bike, and it was in the rain. It was meant for an accident to happen. And when the accident happened, the motorbike skidded and they crashed, and the motorbike spinned off all the way to a residential house. And what would you think would happen to the son? We would probably, he called his mother and told her that he don't know what happened. His body was spinning on his buttocks and spinned all the way onto a piece of grassland. He just kept on spinning all the way and stopped on the grass. And when he woke up, everything was okay. He felt he had bruises on his buttocks. His clothing was all ruined, but he didn't have any major injuries. And it was on the third day that the son told the story to his mother. And so the mother was very surprised. And even when she talked about it, she was still very scared. But she was also very happy that her son is protected by the Bodhisattva. And so when the son goes out, she would ask the son to wear master's blessed Dharma items or a master's auspicious card, and lit a candle for his son, and to pray for his son's safety. And it really worked to help his son avoid such a major accident. And so before the accident, when the mom asked her son to get rid of the motorcycle and get a normal car, the son always refused. But after the accident, the son listened, and he sold the motorcycle and got a car. And so now the mom can finally have a peace of mind. I actually know about this story. And I know that every time the son goes on a road trip, the mother would light a candle for her son. So as children, we should behave ourselves so that our parents don't have to worry so much. I remember another story from Malaysia, Fan Can. Master, there is a tanka in our center called the Golden Four-Armed Guanyin Bodhisattva tanka. And Fan Can got this tanka and hung it in her room. And every day she would chant half hour every day to Guanyin Bodhisattva. And before she got the tanka, she always felt anxious when she's at home. But after getting the tanka and chanting for 6 months, the energy in her home starts to have changed. And in 2018, she got another tanka, the Transformed World of Mandala tanka. And she got this for her father. And she didn't know why, but she wanted to give it to her father. And her father didn't believe it. And her father wasn't very respectful to it. He just placed it on top of a sideboard. And on the wall above the mandala, there is another painting by a famous artist. And this happened in the January of 2018. And in March, one day, Fan Can was chanting at the center, and she received a message from someone that told her that her father drove his car into a water channel, and the vehicle has sank in the water channel, and the water flooded all the way until his neck, and he was stranded in the vehicle for 2 hours before he was rescued. And then in July, after midnight, one day, Fan Can received another phone call that there was a fire at her father's place. All the glass has broken at the home. All the chairs are burned. The ceiling is burned. And after the father escaped from his bedroom, the fire got into the bedroom. In the bedroom, other than the bed, everything in the bedroom was burnt. Even the air conditioner was burnt. If his father didn't make it out, he would have maybe even choked to death by the smoke. And what's surprising is that the sideboard in the living room is made of wood, and there is a mandala on top of it. Only the sideboard and the mandala was not burnt. Everything else was burnt. Even the famous painting was burnt. And nobody could explain it. Nobody could explain why everything else was burnt, but this mandala was not burnt, and the sideboard was not burnt. The firefighters couldn't explain it. And so his father was saved once again from the fire. And so Fan Can says that if I heard this story from other people, I wouldn't believe it. But it happened to my father. When he was stranded in water, he was saved. When he was stranded in fire, he was saved. And this is very auspicious. When our friends online, when they're listening to the stories, they are also sending us their own stories too. We have heard many of such auspicious stories. There are too many to tell. So sincere self-cultivation can change our fate. Our fate now is determined by our actions, merits, and virtues in the past. It creates what we feel and experience today, whether it's our health, our wage, our happiness, whether we're lonely or not. They're all determined by our actions in the past lives. And so I hope that everyone can understand this principle and have a compassionate heart, have a right heart, and have more cultivation and do more good deeds to cultivate merits. So many people who volunteer at the center, look at the husband and wife from Vancouver. They get married after they are 40-something, and they have a baby when they're 44, 45 years old. The secret, I know, is that they have went to many doctors already, from China to United States to Canada. For many from the medical checkup result is that both the husband and the wife, both of them are infertile. They have already given up all hope. But they were destined to come to the center. And after work, the husband did everything he could. Doesn't matter how heavy or dirty the work is. And of course, they always had this hope. They were very good person. So after a year or so, they were able to get pregnant. The doctors couldn't believe it, that it's impossible. It's an impossible mission. How did you complete it? If the man is infertile and the woman is infertile, how could you get pregnant with a baby? And the baby is a look-alike of the husband. And I also named the baby too. So we should do more good deeds. We should do a lot of good things, volunteer a lot. And as we accumulate merits, we will be protected. In Malaysia, in Fan Can's family, it's disaster from water. And how did you drive into a water channel? And when the car rolls on the road, it's very likely that the person is injured. And after you're rescued, the father didn't have any injuries. And also there was a fire, everything was burned. But the father was okay. And even the Mandala Tanka was not burned. But the famous painting right above the Tanka is burned. We can take many guesses. So we are protected in the misfortune, and it's all because of the merits we have. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas love all sentient beings. As long as you communicate with them sincerely, they will come to help you. When you were telling stories, I looked at the messages of our live session. And I think for the smart ones, they would write down their wish, and I will see it. Everyone will see it. Bodhisattva will see it. And maybe it will be helped. And your wish will be fulfilled. Isn't that good? So if you have any wishes, put it on here. If you have any questions, you can also put it. And I might ask my helpers to print out your wishes and put it in front of the Buddha, and hopefully your wish will come true. And as you write your wish, let us not forget that today is a practice session. So today, let us chant to the great compassionate Guanyin Bodhisattva, who is everywhere, who helps whenever she hears a cry. So let us get started.
南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。
菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音 南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨， 南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨， 南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨， 南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨， 南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨， 菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。
好，大家
All
搓搓
right.
手，
Rub your hands together
搓搓手，轻轻搓搓脸，
and lightly run your hands over your
观
face.
想自己的脸
Visualize
回到7岁的样子。
That you're back to 7 years old.
好，再拍拍头。
All right, pat your head.
拍打的时候观想，
When you're patting your head,
像拍打
Visualize
在旧毛毯
that you are
上，
patting on
灰尘
a very old
飞扬
blanket.
出来，
All the dust flies
就
into
会
the air.
离苦得乐，
All your sufferings are gone and you're happy.
疾病烦恼消
All the
除，
illnesses, all the
就是自己就
worries
没有
are
了
gone.
这些疾病
It all
烦恼没有
disappears
了
on its own.
再拢起手指啊，
Now
梳
use your
头
fingers
拢起
and
手
comb
指
your
梳头
hair.
让我们变得智慧聪明，
We become more intelligent and we become wiser.
大家刚才诵念的非常的真诚，
Everyone chanted
在
very
念的过程之
sincerely
中啊，我觉得
during the
就是
chanting
那种
practice.
紫色的啊，就是到刚才我在停止念佛之前哈、那个紫色的那个云，
Right before we
就
finished
像个
chanting,
紫色的云
there were violet
在
clouds
一开始念的时
in
候
the
呢，
meditation
就
room.
看到那个彩色的光，
At the
五彩
beginning
光
of the
七彩光
chanting, I saw
就
rainbow
特别
colored
的
light.
幸福。
I felt
现在
very
嘴巴里
happy.
是甜甜的，
Now in my mouth, I can feel dewdrops.
身体
It's
觉得很
very
轻
sweet.
松啊。
My
对
body
所以
is
这
very
个念
relaxed
佛哈
and light.
短期有短期的效果，
So when we
那么积
chant
累起来
for
呢，
a very
一定
short
会出
period of
现
time,
非
there
常好
are
的健康的作
there
用
are
啊，吉祥的
health effects already. And if we chant for longer periods, the
大家抽
effect
空的
will
时
be
候就
even
念
greater.
啊
Whenever you
尤
have time,
其
you
是在
can
你这个
chant,
晚上睡觉之前，
especially
对，把
before
家务
you
事
go
忙
to
完之
night,
后
go to bed.
安静地方
After you have done all your
静静地
housework,
坐在那里啊
find a
怕
spot,
吵到家人呢，
find
可
a
以戴耳
spot
机
and
来
chant
念
quietly.
啊
You
那
can
这个有
chant
线的耳
wearing
机
your
就是一根长电线的耳机，
your
那么
earphones.
对这个我们的健康影响比较少啊。
So
无线耳机呢，
earphones
会有一点点小辐
with
射
a
对，但是一般
traditional
人也是
earphones
就是
without
这个
Bluetooth
练功
probably
会带
have
给我们很
less
多非
less
常正面的
negative
作用
health
力
effects.
因
And
为大家呢，网
self-cultivation
友
can
们很
bring
热情
many
啊
positive
我看
health
也
effects to
留了
us.
很多言啊，
People have left
想
many
那个佛菩
messages,
萨都收到了，都会
and
帮助我们
Buddhas and
加受我们
Bodhisattvas have
护佑我们
received your
得
wishes.
到如意，
They will
得到
protect
吉
us
祥
and bless us with
得到健康
auspiciousness and
得到
health
长寿。
and long life.
大家抽空就念这个，
So
大家
chant
都会
whenever
了
you
哈
have time.
非常容易。
I hope you have all learned how to
我这些
chant.
天呢还在
It's
收
very
到
simple.
大家的一些这个面相啊，
In
还有
the past few
这个
days, I continue to receive
家庭
your
的这个布
questions,
局的
whether
这个
about
图
feng
哈
shui
还在继续收
or about
那我也
your
在一
face
边的
readings.
在处理在安排之后呢，会 回信给你。
I replied many of these
那个
questions already.
大家网友都是问那个聚宝盆，如果自己购
People
买什
ask
么样的合适？
that if
就
they
比如说
want to
材
buy
质
their
材料
own treasure vase,
通常
what type
不
should
是
they
绝对
buy?
固定的。
Is there
比如
a
说有
set
这个
material? No.
陶瓷
There are pottery ones,
因为陶瓷是
porcelain
两种东西哈。
porcelain
陶的
ones as
那
well.
出陶呢，
Pottery
出陶
ones,
最早的陶其实是一种泥土，经过烧制
pottery
之后
pots started
像我们
thousands of
那个砖呢
years
瓦呀
ago in the
后
ancient
来定
times.
性的陶呢是
And
现在的陶是
porcelain
烧水缸的
is
大米缸或者
more
是水缸
dense
为陶。那我们吃饭的碗呢，就是比较它那个瓷比较细，比较精致。
Porcelain are like
一点都不
the
抓手。
the porcelain bowls that we
那陶
use
和
for
瓷的
eating.
真正的差别呢，
So
它是在制作的过程之中
the
在窑
difference
子烧
between
嘛
porcelain
它那个温度决
and
定它陶还
pottery
是
is
瓷那个瓷的话呢，
the
要用更
difference
高的温度，通常
happens
是
when it's
可
manufactured.
能
Usually porcelain
1000度以
is
上的
made
温度
with higher
陶的温
temperatures,
度可能会低一
probably
些
over 1000 degrees
那
Celsius.
个瓷的部分就比较精细，
And porcelain is more
所以用这个
refined.
陶和瓷这个
And so
这个缸和
whether
罐
it's pottery or
哎，那还
porcelain
有的像
vase,
过去有
they're
用这
both
个
okay. In the past,
金属的，
there are also
最
people
贵
who
的金属就是
use
金的
metal
那
metal
本身就是
vases.
金就本身就比较贵的。
In
这个
ancient
材
times,
质
people even
有
use
用金
gold,
的，我也见过银的，
and I've also seen silver
更多
ones
的
as
是
well,
铜的
and
铜
bronze
质的
ones.
对，我也见过很多。那还有就是木头。
Treasure vases can
那
also
现
be
在
made of wood.
我的这里呢，就
In front of me,
拿来一个样品哈，
I brought
这是个
a
木
little
头
sample with me.
这
This
个
is
木头
made
呢
of wood.
有一些香味，
It's a
有
fragrant
一些香味
wood.
啊，都是非常名贵的木头。
It's a type of
那
special
我们这个慈悲音
wood.
呢，给大家
And on our website,
找了一
sibeyin.com,
些啊，就是也是我累积这么多年
there are several
累积
wooden treasure
收起
bowls.
来的这种
And I
叫做
I
快
got
木
these
或
over
肖
the
楠木
years. They're either 快木
这些
or
都是
xiaonanmu from
非
Taiwan.
常金贵名贵的
And
木
these
头
are
啊
very
非常
well
金贵的
known
木头
precious
啊
wood
它
from
本身就有
Taiwan.
香味儿
They
本
come
身就对有
with
这
a
个一些
light
相对
fragrance
健康医
naturally,
疗的作用。
and it has
这是非常
benefits
好。
to health naturally as well.
那么通常这个木头做的这个聚宝盆呢，
These
它是用
wooden
机
treasure
型
vases
用
are
机
usually
型
made
来聚宝。
on
那么它这
are
个为了让它这个
can
木头这个
accumulate
聚宝盆安
wealth
全呢，
by
所以
its
它里
shape.
面不像我们的其他
And
材质的这个聚宝
So
盆、聚宝
to
罐里面
it's
那么多
unlike
空
other
啊
treasure
它这里面
vases.
的空很少，它是用这个
It doesn't
形
have a very
来达
large
到这个
stomach.
聚财聚宝的这个意义
Inside,
啊，就里头
There is
并没
very
有那么大的
little
空间
empty space,
啊
but
对
it
也是一个
uses
很好
the
的东
shape
西
of
那它本
it
身就带
to
有一些香味
accumulate wealth.
啊，对，就像个艺术品的。
This is like an
那么像我
artistic
这个呢
piece.
就是
This one that I have here,
它这些花纹都是天然的，
the patterns on the wood is natural.
其实有点像那个，最好一会儿你们去拿拍照片，
You
拍
can
照片嘛
take a picture
我
of
就
it.
看一看，对，
You can
它这
it's on
个
the picture
花
right
纹呢
now.
其实
The
有点
pattern
有点像那个金钱豹的那个
is
斑点
natural and it
它
looks
是天
like
然的
the spots
啊
on a
对
pencil.
而且这个这两种木头呢，像肖楠比较重一些，快木稍微轻一点。但是都是
Xiaonan
非常
and
非常
Kuaimu are all
这个名贵的木头
very
啊
precious
对人
wood,
体有好处。
and they
就
naturally
是放在
benefit
家里啊，办公
humans'
室里是吧
health.
就是
So
它
whether you
所
put
散
it
发
in
出
your
来的
home
气息
or your
啊都是
office,
非常健康，
it will give out a
非常健
very
康。这样我们就是
positive energy and
也
is
是累积
beneficial
了
to
多年
health.
啊，
And
就是
I've
有累积了有几个
I have
网友朋友如果
several
有
of
需要呢
these
可以
wooden
去
treasure
抖
vases.
音上去看
If you
一
need
看
it, you can visit
它确实不便宜
sibeyin.com.
我们
They
拿
are
到
not
的
cheap.
都是很多
Even when I purchased it,
就
it
是
was
非常的
very
宝贵的
difficult.
材质啊。
And the wooden material is also very good.
这些东西呢， 这些聚宝盆、聚宝罐
these treasure vases and treasure
佛像
bowls
就是
or Dharma
只要不损
tools,
坏，是越旧越灵
if
验。
they are not
因为
broken,
它进行作
the
用
more
越灵
aged
亮
it is,
或者
the more
法物，
inspirational
它
it
用久
is.
了之后，哎，它就是
Because
能
if
量
it's
就不同
been
了。就
used
是它
for
这
a
样
very
的
long time, its energy
达
field
到这种
changes.
一旦形成了这样的一个
When
一
it
个
has
聚
created
宝或者是
such
法器的这个作用之后呢，
such an
你用的越
effect
久
to
就越灵
accumulate
验。
wealth,
尤其是
the
佛
more
像更
it's
是这样。
used, the more inspirational
这
and
是一
magical
种
it is. It's the
常识
same
性的知
for
识啊，
Buddha
大家知道一
statues.
点。像我眼前摆的这个
In front of
这个
me,
样品聚宝
this
盆呢，
sample, this
这个
wooden vase,
成为这个聚宝盆呢，这都是有
it
应该有超
has
过30
been
年。
made into a wooden
这个
vase
是
for
非
over
常
30
好
years
的一块
ago,
木头做的。
and it was
对，
made from a very nice piece of wood.
所以这个大家对这种对我们风水、对运气有帮助的这些东西，
So
有一点
things
这样
that are
的
helpful
知识
to our
啊。
feng shui
对，所以
and
像我们
our
大家供养
fortune,
这
it would
个
be great if we can have some
老的
knowledge
这
of
个
it.
巨型唐卡啊，
People
对
have
这个它那个
made
加持力 作
offerings
用力
to
是非常
our
大，也是一个道理
grand
啊。
ancient
让
Tanka,
大家知道一
and
些。嗯，
because they're ancient, they are more effective and they have stronger energy.
好，那今天不想占大家
So
太多时
today,
间
I'm not
啊。
going to take too
那
much
明
of
天
your
呢，
time. Tomorrow,
明天呢，我们会继续
tomorrow, let us
就是讲
continue.
家训，
We will talk about
该
family
第几讲？
precepts.
该第14讲。
What part
啊
is it
第
of?
14讲
It's part
净地
14.
家训啊，欢
Jim,
迎大家呢到时
I
继
welcome
续来
everyone
收看
to
收听。
continue to watch tomorrow.
那今天我们的课程就到这里。
Today,
好
our
感恩大
session
家
concludes. Thank you very much.